Hello everyone, and welcome to this season's first MX-5 lap guide for Coach Dave Academy. My name is Adam, and I'll be guiding you through this season. This first week is at Road Atlanta, so let's get into it. As we head down into turn 1 here, it's quite important that you're very light on your brakes. I start braking just after this little access road here, or I guess it's a club layout pit exit. And very light on the brakes initially, about 30% or so. Given that we are turning as we are braking, we need to be quite light on the brakes. And then we carry that brake all the way into the apex, around 10%, 5% or so, and we get on the throttle just before the apex here. This can take a little bit of practice, where you need to get on the throttle to not run out wide here. But where you want to be on the exit is around about here, so about half a car from the exit curb. If you are too wide, then it's quite easy to get caught on the curb and go into the grass, and also if you're too tight, then you're not going to get enough exit speed. So this is about where you want to be. And then as we go up the hill here, you want to try to get the car a little bit over to the right. That's going to give you a much straighter entry into this right-hander up here. And then you can use just a bit of curb here on the left, just to kind of open up the entry. And you want to brake about 40%, 30% as you get onto the brakes. And then bleed off to get off the brakes just before the apex. And then you want to get on the throttle before the curb. Because what's quite important on this curb is to keep the car loaded over the curb. So let's have a look at how that looks in Delta. So looking at this corner in Delta, you can see that the point where I stop braking and start going onto the throttle is right before I hit the apex here on the curb. So to keep the car loaded on the curb. So as we head back onto the track now and look at how we take the exit here, you can use actually quite a lot of exit here, given that the car is not that fast. So we can kind of keep to the left here without really needing to set it up that much in the corner before. So we can keep it quite easily flat in this left-hander here and still keep it to the left here. This little S section here can be a bit difficult. You want to turn the car in quite early. You can actually use the inside curb here. It doesn't unsettle the car that much. And you want to keep it full throttle. Using a bit of curb here on the left, you can put two wheels on the grass here like I do. That can unsettle the car slightly, so it might need some practice. It's not something you'd really want to try in a race if you haven't tried it before. But that's something you can do. It makes it a bit easier to take it flat. And as we go into this left-hander here, you want to brake actually on the curb. It really helps to open up the corner, and the curb is quite flat, so it kind of works quite well to use the curb. And actually, even putting two wheels on the grass here, just to open up the corner even more, because we really want to maximize the radius in this corner. And we continue with that as we head into the corner, because we use lots of curb here on the inside. You can do that because this car is quite inherently soft, so in corners like this you want to use quite a lot of curb to maximize the radius and get a straight line. And it doesn't really unsettle the car. Like as you can see here, I put two wheels even on the inside of the curb, and the car is still quite stable as we exit the corner. We use lots of track here on the exit, even putting almost two wheels into the gravel here. This can be a bit sketchy if you haven't really practiced it, so that's something I would practice. Using all the track here on the left, because it does help you take quite a lot more apex speed in the corner, and you get quite a lot better exit. Keeping to the left here on the straight as we head into this double right-hander, which is quite critical for the straight. Braking quite light here as well. It's quite similar to turn 1 that we are braking and turning at the same time, so we need to be a bit careful on the brakes. Otherwise we might get a bit of oversteer. And getting back on the throttle at or just before the apex. And we want to use all the track here on the left. This curb is also quite flat, so you can use it quite a lot and brake on it as we head into this next hairpin here. This hairpin is really important because it sets up the entire exit for the straight. So what you want to do is take a bit of a wider entry here. As you can see roughly where I'm placing my car here. I'm starting to turn, or I'm doing most of my turning at this point, where I'm already pointed like almost to the exit of the track. And we want to get back on the throttle quite early on this line, and then use all the track on the exit. So as we go onto this back straight, this is, you want to keep quite a straight line here, but what's quite important on the straight is that this is basically where races are won and lost. On the final lap, this is where most of the races are decided, given that this car does have quite a lot of draft. And especially on a track like this with such a long straight, and it's also quite difficult to overtake in other corners on this track, that this corner is crucial on the last lap. If you are in a fight, then you most likely want to be the second car or the third car as you are entering the straight to win that fight. So it's probably not that important to actually go for overtakes early in the race, unless you're coming through the pack or something like that. So as we head into this chicane here, the braking point is roughly this white line here, maybe slightly before, especially if you are in draft. And we can brake quite hard, actually, given that we are coming from quite a high speed and it's quite a straight braking zone, then we can brake quite a lot going in. But as we do turn in, we need to bleed off. And just before we hit the apex, we are completely off the brakes and onto the throttle. The line you want to take here is very tight. You can take lots of curb here. I think you can actually go even slightly tighter than I did here. But this is quite close to the limit. You will get an off track if you go a little bit tighter. But you can gain quite a lot by going tight here, given that it gives you a straighter entry for this next right-hander and then a better exit all the way through. So where you want to be as you exit this corner is roughly in the middle of the track, maybe slightly to the left. and that's gonna allow you to take this next right-hander flat out. If you do turn in, you want to turn in slightly late, so you can take it flat, as you see, not getting off the throttle here, and that's gonna give you a much better run as we head down the front straight. And then just keeping tight all the way through to the finish line. This is quite easily flat, and that's the lap of Road Atlanta. So that's it. That's a lap of Road Atlanta. If you want to use my setup, you can find it on Coach Dave Delta. If you're looking for more lap guides or hot laps, you can find them on the Coach Dave YouTube channel. And if you're looking for any help at all with anything setup related or Coach Dave related in general, you can visit our Discord. See you next week.